Hello. I need to make a video because I just had some insights. It is 11:17 p.m. and been thinking about psychology as I always do and the mechanisms of escape routes. And it's been going on for a very long time through generations. And when the brain started to get larger through evolution, people had the chance to escape more from unwanted feelings and emotions and trauma. Everyone, almost everyone has been traumatized. Some people more, some people less, but almost everyone has had some form of psychological trauma as a child. Okay, this is a fact. And the brain mass has only made it possible for people to figure out a way to abstract away from the pain, instead of confronting themselves with it, instead of sitting down and saying, "Whew, let me feel how this actually feels, Let me see what it actually wants to tell me, Let me see what my emotional pain actually has to say to me," instead of taking the next opportunity and just running off with the next escape mechanism, with the next drug or alcohol or nicotine or sex or addictions or whatever it is, whatever that is, gambling, whatever it is that people do to escape from the uncomfortable feeling that are boring themselves up into consciousness. So, and I eagle-eyed sharply observe myself, my own mechanisms, and my own past behavior and mechanisms. None of this is eloping out of my vision field. I have it all captured in my memory, what I have done, how I have tried to escape, how I have tried to sabotage myself so that I can hang on to that old trauma again, that old feeling of I am a victim, so see, I'm a victim. I can never get out of that loop, It happens very easily. So I'll give you an example, which is painful to talk about, but I think it's important. It's really important. When I first met Paul in 1997, a long time ago, I think it was around 2000 or 1999 when we let Jehovah's Witnesses move into the guest house, mother and a daughter. And I was so jealous of the daughter, who is about, 12 years younger than I am. She was, she was 18 or something, and I was in my 20s. No, she was 18 and I was 30, something like that. So, but I always looked much younger than I am, so I didn't look that much older than she did, but I was still so incredibly jealous of her because I thought she was cuter, and I thought that she could get any guy, and I thought that Paul liked her, and and they were constantly there, and I was constantly seeing them, and it was so bad. And then Paul was also remodeling the guest house where they were staying, and part of the deal for them was to help with the remodeling, but that didn't work out at all because that was not the right incentive. One learns from all of these mistakes. But anyway, what happened to me is my unconscious, my pain from the past. Mommy does not love me. Mommy loves brother more than me. Little brother, baby brother. Mommy loves baby brother. When I was 5 years old, my brother was born. And everyone paid attention to him. Okay. And he already had black curls. And he looked so cute. Everyone thought he was a little girl. When I was born, I didn't have any hair at all. I was bald for a long time. I had such tiny little hairs. And they all thought I was a boy. And there's the pain again, It's like whatever we feel pain was in the present, it does come from the past, It's compounded with the past. So, my brother was looking like a girl, but he was a boy, and I was a girl looking like a boy as a baby. And so when my brother was the baby with the curls and everyone loved him and thought he was so cute, the jealousy was so overwhelming. It was a major trauma, according to Dr. Arthur Janoff, what he was talking about in his books about major primal scenes, when there's such a massive trauma that can either happen, in a major primal scene or in a cascade of scenes that happen and that just keep on happening and just keep on compounding each other, and it becomes like a wound that is always cut open again and again and again. So this had never been resolved. I never knew how to resolve it, not even in primatherapy. I tried to resolve it. It loosened up a little bit, but then when I was still doing primatherapy during that time. So what happened is my unconscious wanted to come up. The unconscious pain wanted so badly to be seen and heard. It was hammering against my door of consciousness, and it said, "Open the door, I want to talk to you." And the ego puts a cap on it. The ego doesn't allow this to come up. The ego wants to flee with all kinds of things, all kinds of escape routes, whatever is there possible for people. Drugs, addictions, gambling. I've seen all of this in people. In my case, I intellectualize, I fantasize also. Those are escape mechanisms. So I dream about being someone else. So that's an escape mechanism. That's not being here in ground zero. That's not facing the ugly reality of, people finding me ugly and my brother being seen as a girl and jealousy of my brother, that is such a big pain, that wanted to come up. And so the situation with the girl in the guest house, real pretty girl, also, dark brown curly hair, this cute face. She actually didn't look that different to me, you know. But that's exactly the thing. It's like I feel replaced, you know. I don't know if that makes sense, you know. There's someone else coming in who is kind of like looking on the same spectrum, which I find cuter, you know. So maybe she'll replace me. I will become erased, you know. And the ego is devastated over this, absolutely devastated, because it docks onto the old pain of my brother coming into existence, and it's like I felt replaced, I felt erased, and it was such overwhelming pain, you know, because my mother has never been there for me in the first place. That's why. If she had been there, she really loved me like I love my dogs, then this fear of my brother replacing me would have never come up. But the love wasn't there, you know. I'll tell you, that's killer. Okay. So I'm making these videos to get people to understand the severity of this. Yeah. So when the girl was in the guest house, Paul and the girl were remodeling the guest house. It was, I don't know, 8 p.m. in Los Angeles in 1999. And I was at the center. I'd just come back home. And jealousy crept up. And I snuck around the house. I ducked down so they wouldn't see me. And then I stood in front of the window, looking in. And then there were several things coming up, like several variables of emotions, you know. There came up this feeling of, I am a ghost now. I'm ghosting them in the worst way, you know. I'm looking through the window, and in that moment when I can feel like a ghost, I feel like a creep. But then there's this feeling of, oh, now I have power. Oh boy, then I thought, but see, I pay attention to all of this at the same time. That's why when these that's another escape route, by the way, that feels a little bit more powerful or something, but it's an illusion. So whatever feels better, the brain wants to run off with it, you know. Like the trolls in the chat room, it makes them feel like a lion when they bully people. It's an escape mechanism to get away from the feeling of feeling unseen, feeling irrelevant, feeling unprecious, you know, which is not true. Every living being is equally precious. Our bodies are all equally precious. Why should one body be more precious or less precious than the other, right? This is just a natural, logical thing. But the ego doesn't understand that. The ego's thing is always threatened by the past trauma. I want to get away from it, so I feel like a ghost. Now I feel power. Now I'm gonna run away with that feeling, and I'm gonna be sunbathing in that feeling of, I'm a ghost now. Now I can act out with it. This is a shitty act out, okay? So, just like everything else is, a devil worshipping, becoming a witch. Now I have power. No, I don't. Okay? This is not power. Or I'm trolling someone. No, I don't have power when I do these kind of things. I guess I'm going to make another part. So, but I realized it right then and there in the moment. But it's very interesting what I realize about particularly this one scene. Okay, I'll make another part.